11 o'clock. You ready? Meeting call to order. September 24th, 11 a.m. You're on number 2. Make a
Okay.
motion.
I make a motion to sign all current bills.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And I don't know when our next meeting's gonna be, sometime in October.
Okay.
I know I can't do the 8th because I
Right, you won't be here.
won't be here.
Okay, and the next one, Howie? 4? You wanna make a motion for the minutes? Number 4, the minutes.
I'll make a motion. Yes, well, you made a motion,
No, you make it, you have to,
I'll second it.
okay.
Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then Ralph isn't here. What about the sewer connections?
I know the,
Here's
well,
Ralph. Wait a
now we
minute,
can,
Wait a minute, let's just go back to Ralph.
okay.
Number,
Hey, Ralph.
yeah.
Hi, how
Hi,
are you?
Ralph.
How's
Five.
everybody?
You can go with your report.
How about the minutes?
Oh, we'll go back to that. Oh,
Okay.
we did the minutes, oh.
Okay,
Oh, we can sign this, yeah. I was gonna go flying. All right, Ralph.
Oh, okay, ready? Primary pump repair and replacement. I've got, one solid quote here who has a direct replacement, which is my preferred. I've got the second, person here, IPS Industrial. They don't have anything compatible
Oh,
that would fit, and I'm waiting on the third one, but I'm pretty sure,
they're not gonna,
yeah, they haven't called me yet, so.
so hopefully he'll let you go.
Right, I'm hoping I can get this going because
Yeah.
it's overdue.
And how much is that gonna be on the
That's
first
gonna
one?
be a total for 2 pumps, $39,530.
And we got enough money?
Yeah, but I'm still waiting for the, gotta slow down here. Jackie, she has not been able to give me the report, the finalized report for 24.
Oh, why?
I don't know, because I've been looking for the encumbrance
Uh-huh.
to see what's there.
Right.
And she said she hasn't closed out the account yet.
Oh,
And that sounds kind of strange to me, but I guess I have to follow up on that with her again,
we'll follow up with Jim.
or Jim.
That usually gets things moving.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I was trying to give her a break, but, I
Well,
mean, it's
but
July.
you need it, I mean,
It's September, October. It's
Right.
supposed to, it ended in July.
Right. yeah, there's certainly been time.
It's called pump replacement. I just talked to the guy this morning. He's still waiting for engineering. Hi, Joe.
Morning.
And the copper, we're still adjusting chemicals and things because the flow is so low right now.
Mhm.
It's very difficult to keep a balance because it's so low and-
Right.
and we put chemicals in. And it's easy to go to over chemicals, you know, to
Right.
put too much at this point. So we're still manipulating that. We're close, but we're not where we should be yet,
Mhm.
you know?
Well,
So we're at, basically, that's where we're at with those 3 items.
okay.
We haven't had any candidates, I don't believe we had any other applicants
No.
for position. Now, East Road and Mechanic Street, I just just stopped at Mechanic Street. I've been going by both of those places bi-weekly or so. And the building of the house is, you know, probably 70% done.
Oh, wow.
But I stopped in there and whoever was there, I asked for whoever the boss was, and he says, how can I help? I says, well, I'm wondering about the sewer connection. He said, I don't have anything to do with that, but I looked in through the cellar, there's no piping whatsoever at this point.
Oh,
So I don't understand that. Usually that's one of the first things they do.
right.
Is hook up and do the, you know, the preliminary piping. I didn't get by East Street today, but they are building both of those houses
Oh,
at this
good.
point.
Mhm,
Again, I don't see any trenches.
mhm.
I don't see where they made any connection anywhere, so I don't know what's going on as far as that goes. I'm probably gonna see if I can find out who the contractors are for the building itself and question them,
Right, yeah.
you know, to see when the heck they're gonna do this.
Yeah,
Sewer
those things
connection.
are usually done right in the beginning and.
Yeah, exactly. But there's no indication that they dug any sewer lines or anything, you know, to the road from the foundation.
At least they should have the piping inside to where it's gonna go out and.
They didn't even have that, which
Mhm.
the rough piping's usually there,
Right,
so.
but,
So there's not much to report there other than a building in progress.
right,
Connections have not been made.
right. So, well, that's good to know though, because I don't
Yeah, well,
go out that way that often.
Oh, yeah, but I was, been watching it because I just don't want them to sneak in there. I
Right,
think they're gonna lay it in there and cover it.
yeah, that happens a lot, so, all right. Anything else you want to tell us, complaints?
We have some concerns about bills as far as J&M goes. They say they're not getting paid, but I've seen where you guys
Yeah,
have signed those off, so I'm just trying to find out
Where they go?
where they at
Yeah.
at this point.
Well, in order to find out what happened with the checks, whether they cleared or got returned, that would have to be Dawn who would answer
Oh,
that. And I
okay.
did send her an email,
Okay.
before I came downstairs for the meeting.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you just got stuck with something else and didn't get paid.
I was really surprised, have him call me, John called me, and said, it's probably a mistake, some screw up somewhere. He says, we've been doing this a long time, we've never had any problems.
Mhm.
But, then he started, well, we haven't got paid for this and that. And I saw where the checks had, where the invoices have been signed by you folks. But I've got it recorded on my spreadsheet that, it's been
Been paid,
processed.
yeah. But you don't know how far it went, so.
Right,
And anything else?
standard stuff for always fighting.
And how are they going with the rotations, all right, or?
Well, there's only Dave and Zach right now, yeah, they're doing fine with it. We had a concern about the AT&T bill, as far as being paid also. I'm not sure, I sent that in last week in Lisa's absence, and I hadn't heard anything back. So I gotta follow up on that again too, unless you've heard something, Lisa.
I haven't heard anything. I sent her an email yesterday.
Right, yeah.
And I know that the last bill from them, I don't have the stuff in
Right,
front of me right
yeah.
now, but I think I did submit it for payment. It was signed at the,
Yeah,
I believe it was signed at the meeting at the end of August,
I believe that's correct.
August 28th.
Madam Chair, if we could, because the meetings are being carried live, when we have members from the audience speaking, if we could just have them speak into the microphone at the podium now, because or else nobody's gonna be able to hear them.
Okay. Okay.
Can we repeat what I just said?
You'd have to go to the microphone route, because it would be difficult for somebody to hear you because of the new system.
Yeah, and you're supposed to say who you are and where you're from and,
Okay, I will do that the next meeting.
okay. Yeah, and it's bad enough when people stand up there, if they move away from that, you can't hear them either, so.
Correct.
I wasn't aware of that, otherwise I would have started there.
Yeah, well, I wasn't even thinking. All right, anybody, Jim, do you have anything?
Well, I do want to, kind of get at some ideas, from the board. We are going to be having a fall special. I'm anticipating the selectmen to opening up a warrant this Thursday, and having articles due back, I'm looking at by Friday, October 11th. So that gives departments a few weeks to get their, potential articles together, submit them to me. I'd like to see, I'm not sure if the sewer department is going to be having any articles. I hear that there may be a prior year bill that needs to get paid, that needs to be addressed at the special. I'm not sure if there's any other projects that are gonna be requiring, some type of,
Ralph?
article.
Do you have anything for articles?
At this point, I'm not aware of it.
Like that
I-
would need money for?
Yeah, at this point, no, but I'm still waiting, like I say, for the closeout of last year, so I could see what the encumbrances were. I don't know, I haven't been able to get, every time I talk to her, she says she hasn't closed out, 24.
So I'm not following you. So
The report-
the department submits the encumbrances, so you guys don't have a copy of the encumbrances?
No, but usually when I get my report from her as to what my balances are,
Mhm.
she has a sheet that lets me know what was encumbered previously.
Right, so that will be calculated into the next report, but because the encumbrances are in the process of being carried over.
Right.
But you should have your sheet that, whatever the board submitted for encumbrances, those are the encumbrances
Excuse
that got
me, I don't
carried
think
over.
that's what he means. Don't you mean on our articles?
Yes.
He means on the articles.
Well, he said encumbrances.
I know he said that,
Well,
but
the what has been encumbered on these articles?
like what's
Okay.
left on
You
the
know what I'm
articles?
saying?
All right, yeah, so, any articles that were left open by the board would be carried over on the encumbrances. You guys voted on them, so you should have a list of what you voted on.
We just encumbered we told her to leave the articles there, whatever was left.
Okay,
And we didn't go into any details on money, because at that point, we don't know. But as far as encumbrances, when we say that, we mean what had to be encumbered before the end of the fiscal year, so the bills
so
would
whatever
get
you
paid.
whatever you encumbered is gonna be there.
Okay, but he needs to know how much was spent on the articles.
Well, wouldn't you have a list of what you expended your funds on?
Whoever has the report.
Okay, the report was given out last month.
Okay. So it didn't say anything about the articles?
I didn't see it.
The articles are not on the report as of yet. They will be carried over at the next report. But what I'm trying to say is that whatever articles you guys asked to be carried over, were carried over. So, whatever
It would be whatever I
Ones
had
you-
in July.
Whatever ones that the board had approved to carry over were carried over.
It would be what I had at the end of July, basically.
Right.
Okay. I didn't know if they,
Unless you spent anything in between then.
not that no, because I wasn't sure those numbers were accurate.
Yeah, unless you spent anything, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, well, you get some time if you need to ask for money, like
Right,
for a project or,
right.
and it's coming fast too, so hopefully you get some response from your quotes that you were asked for.
Right, and I did get quotes on my pumps, and I've got one solid quote here, I've got another possibility, but he already has spoke to me and said that he doesn't have anything compatible that would fit, and for his replacement pumps, so I'm waiting for one more, which I don't think I'm gonna hear anything from. So I would wanna process this and get these pumps on order. The total would be $39,530.
So you would have to make an appointment with me and we can go over all of that.
Okay,
So when you're ready, let me know.
okay. next.
Yep.
And hopefully you get a response from what's out there. And
Yeah, I hope so too. Like I say, I bet the one that I know will work,
Right,
and the other fellow says he just doesn't have one that'll work.
right.
And I'm pretty sure.
How long have you been waiting on that one?
Quite a while, probably beginning of the year.
Oh, maybe you should give them a call and ask.
No, I've been working with them. Like I say, one of them's in the engineering stage at this point. It takes them quite a while to get this stuff moving,
Mhm.
but
And that's the one you're waiting for?
that's the one, that's my third one,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's nobody else around that you could,
I'm not gonna say there's not, but I haven't been getting good response, and I already know for a fact I don't have anybody else that has a direct replacement. That, yes, there's other pumps out there, but the expense of repiping everything
right,
is not cost effective.
right. So is there any way to work around that?
No.
There's, you don't get any responses and he has that one that is a direct replacement?
We have to, I'd have to look at this, the exact, how it was, sent out and what the responses were. I'd have to take a look at that. I can't really speak to that directly, but generally, no, there's not a way around the procurement law.
Right, but there are sometimes when, if you can't get what you want, that they bend a little.
I would have to really take a look at that.
Yeah, everything
I don't
isn't
know.
set in stone.
I don't know the specifics,
Mhm.
so, when the specifics are presented to me, I can take a look at that.
Right,
I had called, the paper you gave me, that had the legislature for the mass, whatever it is, the people that made these rules and restrictions, and I called them like 5 times, and they never returned any call. I was just wanting to talk to them and say, hey, look, these are items that are not like buying a box of pencils or a ream of paper, these are very specific items. And, explain to them what the situation is, but I never got a call back from them. I don't know.
but,
And I mean, all I'm trying to do here is save some funds, because I gotta go through an engineering firm to, if I gotta use Ty and Bond or something, so they can come in and tell me that this is the only pump that fits, or we have to re-engineer everything. We already know that, so, but if that's what it's gonna take to get this thing done, they'd be responsible for sourcing the pumps and stuff. But probably costs an extra $100,000, and at this point, no, I don't have that. But if the board wants to go that route, let me know.
I'd like to be able to go with your quote for 39,000. Once you get that last one, maybe we can get to
I
that
mean,
point.
unless I'm not approaching it the right way, I'm open for suggestions.
I don't know how else you could approach it. You're trying to get the quotes and you've got one that says they're
Any
exact
advice,
fit.
Jim?
Well, again, I would have to take a look at it specifically. I would recommend that maybe we set up a meeting to go over what you've had. I know the last time we talked, Ralph, you said you're in the process of compiling all of the quotes.
Right.
I haven't seen what you've compiled yet, so I really can't speak to that.
Okay.
But, once I take a look at what you've, all the information that you've collected, I could certainly advise you as to, how to go about that.
Okay.
Do you have anything else? Any comments and concerns?
Madam Chair, I wanted to know where we are on some of the regulations that were asked of us to come into compliance with DEP and some of their, their orders and their consent orders. Where are we with that?
Ralph?
Yep, they got called into time bond 2 weeks ago. And again, I've been promised a outline and also a cost to do the close camera inspection. Again, I did not get a response. I had the new boss that's taken care of Heidi, and she promised she would get me the information. To date, I've not seen it, so I have to return that call again. And I do have a quote here for repair of the RVCs that are down for the parts. And it looks like it's gonna be around, well, the quote I got here is $15,400, which would put that line back into operating.
What do you need to do to make that happen?
I think that's within the limits, Jim, is that correct?
What's that?
Under 20 grand,
Yeah, how much is it?
15,400, I believe.
Yeah, so, anything above 10 would require, 3 quotes.
Okay.
Do you think that'll be any easier than bumps?
They're not very responsive, I'll tell you. I will put out feelers again. I don't know whether we should go to that website where we post these things, you know?
You could do anything, I mean, just try anything. As long as we can get some kind of a response. And what about those books we're still waiting on?
Yeah.
I mean, what, did the dog eat them? I mean, it's just, that's been a long time. Because we were supposed to have them before the town meeting, and they said they had them before that. So, I think they're falling apart.
I don't doubt it.
But, I don't mean the books, I mean Ty and Bond, just the
Well.
way they're operating.
It sounds bad, giving all these excuses to you guys. You know, why ain't they performing, why ain't they getting me what I need? Maybe I gotta get on their ass, on their tail a little more than
Right.
usual.
But, yeah, because it never used to be like this lately, it's terrible. We could try to get that moving and no comments and concerns. Any old business, new business? You wanna make a motion to adjourn? Wait a minute.
Jim is all done?
I don't know, wait a minute. Lisa was just gonna say something.
Question, you're talking about the special town meeting?
Mhm.
I have these bills from Sherwin-Williams. Shouldn't we put an article on the special town meeting for these?
Those are prior year fiscal bills,
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what he said.
so then they would have to be put on as an article.
Okay,
And somebody from the sewer commissioner would have to come up and state, why.
Anybody else, anything?
And just so I can get educated, okay, they haven't been paid, but nobody knows why they haven't been paid.
Right.
So what would you sound?
So.
Well, for beginners-
I'm guessing, I've looked at, the email that was circulated yesterday, when this was originally discovered. Vendors need to know how to send and where to send invoices to. And so, following up with vendors, making sure they have the correct email address, making sure that they have the correct mailing address, for us to send invoices is critically important, so that we can avoid this type of confusion in the future. It appears that the invoices that, are in question, that were not paid, do not have the correct mailing address on them. I don't know if they were sent to the correct email address. I don't know whose email address they were sent to. But you know, we, as a department, need to make sure that they have the correct information on file when setting up a vendor account with them. You know, correct email, correct mailing, critically important, because if we don't, then this is what we're gonna run into. So, yes, those would have to be placed on the meeting. I would anticipate somebody from the public asking the question, why weren't these paid? And somebody's gonna have to have a, you know, a logical explanation. And I think the logical explanation is that the mailing address on these is incorrect. But, you know, at some point, somebody's gonna say, well, how did they get this mailing address? So it's our responsibility to make sure that the vendor has the correct mailing address, correct email address, so that we can make sure that the bills are paid.
Well, I understand it was the post office box, and he probably gave them the right number, but we don't know if somebody transposed it.
Do you have a West Warren post office box?
Yes.
Is that the right number?
No.
No.
So there's
Okay,
two,
so then
okay,
that's
let
the
me
wrong
explain
number.
it. Okay, there's
But they could
two,
have written the wrong number. Somebody could have given them that, you know,
There's-
how would we even know that?
we don't know if someone on their end could have typed the wrong thing into the computer. All I know is, they have the mail, so there's two mailing addresses for the sewer department. There's one for the wastewater treatment plant, that is box 104 in West Warren in a 01092
All
zip
I'm
code.
saying is that the vendor we need to make sure that we're very clear with the vendor what our mailing address is and what our email address is. And it would be even helpful that when these things either get delivered or we pick them up, that we get the bill and the bill is submitted to Lisa or, you know, so that it can be processed. I don't know if that
Okay.
has happened or not.
I didn't know about this bill until I
Okay,
got the
nobody's pointing
email
fingers at
yesterday.
anybody,
Okay, I don't wanna
Wait a
point
minute.
fingers at anyone.
So, I understand what Jim's saying, Jim's absolutely correct. But, you know, I just have to follow up closer with it, and I'll take the hit on this one. Maybe I gave him the wrong number, I don't know, I didn't think so. Obviously, it wasn't done on purpose,
Right.
if it was done. So, yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
right. It's
It's
not,
unfortunate.
it's not a ton of money, but it's money, and as we have experienced in the past as of lately, you know, town meeting members will be asking the questions, I'm sure, why they weren't paid. And so, you know, I'm just trying to make sure that we are, you know, that we understand the importance of making sure that they have the correct information to process the bills.
Do they have the right address now?
When I called them up yesterday and I told them that I never received the bills until they were emailed, forwarded to me by Ralph yesterday morning, and I told him that they had the wrong mailing address. And I did give them the correct mailing address to mail the bills to my office. I also gave him my email address, so hopefully, he said he would straighten it out, and he also told me that their collections department, they were gonna let them know that, you know, we never got the bills. I mean, I don't know why they waited until, you know, because I'm looking at the bill and it says net payment due on June 20th, so I don't know why Sherwin-Williams waited until September to follow up on it.
Anything else?
No.
Howard, you wanna make a motion to adjourn?
I was just gonna ask you, you wanna do it again?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion. We end our sewer department meeting at, say 11:30.
And I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.